Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche series officially coming to an end way quicker than I expected. We're going to be taking a look at that today. So, first off, I predicted the Jets to win this series. So right off the bat, I was completely wrong here. And I think a lot of people were under the impression that the Winnipeg Jets, this was finally the year, right? They could win. They won the division. They were in the conversation for winning the Western Conference. Actually, I apologize. They didn't win the division. Dallas did. They were in the running really up until the last week of the season to win the division. And their play throughout most of the year was pretty consistent. It was very good hockey overall. Their defense was very good. Their goaltending was very good. And there were a couple games here and there where they could fire in the goals. And after game one, in a 6-5 victory over the Avalanche, it kind of seemed like, the story at the time, even from what I said, was, the more concerning thing was Pavel Francouz giving up, or not Pavel Francouz, Jesus, Alexander Georgiev giving up 6 goals in that game, and not necessarily that Hellebuck gave up 5. That was the assumption at the time because we know how good Hellebuck is capable of being, and we figured that, that was a missed opportunity for the Avalanche because chances are they're not going to score 5 on Hellebuck again. And that's where we were wrong, because the Colorado Avalanche continued to score goals throughout this series. One of their biggest strengths this season has been their ability to score and their transitions from defense to offense, catching teams off guard and scoring on those odd man opportunities. That is where the Colorado Avalanche's bread and butter lays. And Georgiev turned it around. So not only was the goal scoring kind of staying at that rate, but they were also giving up less goals. And Winnipeg's super opportunistic game 1 all of a sudden didn't transpire through games 2, 3, 4, and ultimately 5. So really where this series kind of shifted for me was everything after game 1. There wasn't really like a real pivoting turning point. They just kind of took the series over. And I kind of expected this to go to 7 games at least, just because of how these two teams have played. Colorado down the stretch wasn't playing necessarily their best hockey, which I was under the false impression that was going to hurt them in the playoffs. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But they've really found their game, and that is concerning because now not only is this a team that can only win one round against the Jets, they have the potential of taking out whoever could be in their way. And in all honesty, I think whoever they play between Dallas or Vegas, that is going to be the toughest competition they'll have. And this is not a discredit to teams like Vancouver, Nashville, Edmonton, and LA out on the other side of the conference right now in the playoffs. The reality is that these 3 teams, whoever it is, right? It's the Avalanche, the Golden Knights, and the Stars. I'm going to say one of those 3 teams ends up going to the Cup final out of the Western Conference. I'm very safe in saying that. I don't want to say it. The way the playoffs have gone so far, you can't predict anything. But I would go out on a limb and say those 3 teams are probably going to feel pretty good about themselves, whoever they play in the Western Conference final. Just looking at the matchup right now, right? It's very premature. We still have the second round to get through and things like that. But I think that's where the Avalanche stand right now. And the way they dismantled Winnipeg after game 1 kind of surprised me and left me pretty impressed, to say the least. So that kind of takes us to the Winnipeg Jets side of things. Because for the Winnipeg Jets, things just fell off for this team. I mean, everyone's kind of been going after Rick Bowness. I don't see Rick Bowness coming back. I know that the conversations were already around what's going to happen. He was asked in the postgame, would he return? And he was very, he was very much the mindset of, we just lost. I'm not really thinking like that right now. Let's get through tonight. But that leads me more to believe that he will not be there next year. I think enough Jets fans, especially on Twitter, were very, very much like, get this guy out of here. And I just think they were completely outcoached. And give credit to Jared Bednar. I want to give credit here where it's due to Georgiev, but Jared Bednar deserves a lot of credit because he just completely outcoached Rick Bowness after game 1. And I'm surprised because Rick Bowness is a good head coach. He took Dallas to the Stanley Cup final in 2020. And he's had some good runs in the past, but he just looked stubborn throughout this series. And there were times where the Jets actually were playing well. And it sounded like things just, if you gave a little bit more time, that they could find a way to put in a goal. And then all of a sudden he would switch the lines up. I think Jets fans are just like, no, this guy's done. He's not coming back. The other thing, Neil Pionk was kind of the scapegoat for the team on the blue line. He did not have a good series at all. And I feel bad for him, honestly, because how do I say this? When he's on his game, he's very good, Neil Pionk. And we saw that during stretches of the season. But when he's off his game, it is brutal to watch. And he was the guy that definitely got narrowed out. So Neil Pionk was definitely, I think once the Avalanche realized he was sort of a weakness and he was off his game, they definitely targeted him more in terms of when they were dumping the puck in or when they were entering the zone. Would they go up against, Josh Morrissey, or would they go up against, the boards where Neil Pionk was? They tended to go up against Neil Pionk and challenging him, kind of his gap control into the zone entries and things like that. He got exposed, and obviously I hate to single a guy out, but Pionk did not have a good playoffs. Other things that didn't go wrong, Tyler Toffoli, he looked like a great acquisition at the time for the Jets, but he really didn't do much in the playoffs, unfortunately. There's a lot of guys that, you look at the Dubois trade, Rasmus Kupari, Alex Iafallo, those guys that came into that trade really haven't done much for you. And, Gabe Vilardi, I think he's still a good player. I think he's going to stick around in Winnipeg for many more years. He has 1 year left on his deal. Maybe they re-sign him this summer just to kick in that extension. I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys think of that. But I think they really lost that trade because some of those deals, like I said, like Iafallo and Kupari were just kind of just nothing. There really wasn't much there for the Jets, and that's kind of tough because when Toffoli's not scoring and the top guys aren't scoring and the depth isn't scoring, and then for the Avalanche you're seeing goals from like Zach Parise, well, you're not going to win many series when the depth scoring for the Avalanche is chipping in. Plus, we know how good the high-end talent there is in Colorado. It's tough to beat when you're not getting depth scoring for the Jets like they were in the first game of this series. So overall, it was a good series. I'm glad to see the Avalanche go. I mean, I wanted the Jets because I predicted them to go to the next round, but, I got to be honest, I do have a thing for the American teams. I'd rather American teams go deeper in the playoffs than the Canadian teams, but that's my American bias. Bias aside, Colorado looked really good this year in the first round, and, this could be a thing where maybe this 5-game series will be a benefit because looking right now at the other series that whoever wins that series, Colorado's hoping Dallas Vegas goes to 7. No matter what, go to 7 games, let those guys beat each other up, and then Colorado could come in and kind of scoop up whatever's left and hopefully move on to the Western Conference Final. But it's getting ahead of ourselves, but it is a reality for the Avalanche this season with the way they've kind of come out of the gate here. But like I said, I'm really looking forward to that series. I think the Avalanche have shown they're a legitimate opponent here. There's no BS with the Avs. And like I said, whoever they end up playing in the next round, I'm looking forward to that playoff preview because they're going to have a good team there. They're going to have to go up against in the second round. So let me know what you guys think. Guys, my Jets fans, if you're still here, I'll be posting a video about the Winnipeg Jets offseason. I have some ideas for what they could do this summer. I'll be posting that video later this week, so stay tuned for that. And, of course, for the Avalanche fans out there, stay tuned because I'll be doing your second-round playoff preview once that series wraps up between Vegas and Dallas. Again, it'll be sometime later this week. For the Avalanche, again, I would be expecting Game 1 to be anywhere between Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It depends on what happens with the end of this series with Vegas. Like I said, if Dallas goes in there and wins the next 2 games, they win 5 and 6, then we see maybe potentially as soon as Sunday. Depending on what happens, might even go to Monday if we see a Game 7 in this series, or even Tuesday. Who knows? But, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Guys, also make sure to check out our merch shop. So the Goal Line Hockey Team Shop is available. The links to that are in the description down below. And, of course, if you'd like to become a member, it's a monthly membership to help support the channel, keep the lights on here at Goal Line Hockey. The links to that are also in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again next time. Peace out, guys.